Hey everybody, it's Jimmy Grappone here with the CLT Life, and I am in Waxhaw, North Carolina with Mayor Ron Pappas, and we are on the site of the future town center, I guess you would call it?
It's the town campus, as we call it. It's going to house the town hall, a 20,000-foot building that'll have a dais in it, a regular dais in it. On the site with us, this is a 17-acre site that we purchased from the county in 2020, and the original intention was to put Parks and Rec and our Public Services department on here. Their facilities were significantly outdated.
Yeah.
And as we looked around, we knew we were in leased space over at the town hall right now, just throwing that money away, and we've outgrown it and the lease was up. So we had to make some decisions. There was nothing available in town. We owned this site already.
Okay.
We started to do the implementation, and here we are behind us is the start of that. It went vertical about a week and a half ago.
So this is the future Waxhaw Town Hall right here.
That's correct.
So who's going to be, or what offices are going to be in here?
All of them. All the offices that we have now split up everywhere else will be on this campus. All of the town staff will be inside of here. And then the Parks and Rec and Public Services will have their own facilities on that end of the site, which a lot of storage that they'll have, which they need a lot of.
Vehicles will park here.
Vehicles will park here. All the equipment will park here. We'll have it all under one lock and key. So it'll be a great spot. We finance this thing through regular financing methods, and the way it's going to work out now is we'll own this building in 20 years.
That's awesome. And this is a huge, how large is this lot right here?
This is a 17-acre site.
17-acre site, okay. And so we're filming this in July of 2023, and there's been a lot of projects that have been talked about for a long time that are finally happening, including this one, but we just had the completion of the East-North Main Street project with this widening of the sidewalk, and we have the park is going to be opening pretty soon too. So can you talk about those projects a little bit and just kind of?
We are project executors.
Okay.
A town manager, it was a former planner as well. We have a great planner in Lisa Thompson to bring us forward. So we have the expertise to execute is what we call it. So we have, in addition to this project going on, the East-North Main right now at this date is about 75% complete. We've got a lot of detail work to be done in there.
Okay.
Energizing
but it's serviceable now. People are going out.
It's serviceable. We made it. We got it to a point where we could actually use it before it's done. So now all the last-minute details, benches, furniture, rails, things like that. That's what's going in place right now. That, and in addition to that location right there, we also have laid down about 2,000 lineal feet of sidewalk around the downtown area.
We've noticed that, yeah, and even where the walking bridge is on the Maxwell side, the south side, you redirected the stairs.
That's correct.
So you can actually walk all the way from downtown all the way to Emmett's and the apartments that are over there.
And we did that. There was two reasons for that. One of the reasons, we had some incidences at the older location for the crosswalk, so we had a safety concern there. So we moved that into a more visible spot. You can see that we have the crosswalk beacons right there.
Yeah, those help a lot. Yeah, I think they really get the driver's attention when they're coming through. So.
They do. And we see people walking a lot more downtown, which is what we wanted to create, more of a pedestrian-friendly environment. So you could literally come down to downtown area, park your car, and you could walk everywhere. And that was our intention. And that project was on the books for 4 years before I got here, and it just wasn't able to be executed. We refocused and redirected our energies on it. We had lots of conversations. It was a little bit of a trifecta between CSX and DOT and ourselves, but we worked through that. We make friends there. That's the best thing to do.
Relationships.
Right, exactly. The relationships are what matter, and that's what gets things done. We have also increased the capacity of our staff. So our staff is more capable than what we might have had before. We're going to be up just about 100 employees. And which is one of the reasons to house in there.
Yeah, you have a nice big...
we have a nice big building in there, and we have the ability to expand as we need to because we positioned the building on the site, so we have an expansion wing if we need it. We've got another building site over here for a future community center. We've also just recently purchased the old athletic barn.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I did.
It's great. That will now become one of our community centers. That's we really haven't designed fully on what the improvements are going to be in there, but that was a great acquisition.
Yeah.
It came back to your point on relationships, it came to us because of the relationship between that owner and our Parks and Rec team. And we put the deal together. It worked out for both of us. We closed on it last month. It's an excellent addition. It is actually far less expensive to put that in place than it would be for us to build a new building here. So it was a win-win.
Very cool. Well, I want to get behind the camera, and I want to, we'll continue to talk a little bit. I want to show people what this site looks like and how large it actually is.
That's great. Let's take a walk.
Cool. All right, so we're looking now at the future town hall building. How big is this building, and when's it going to be completed?
It's a 20,000 foot building. It will house the dais, so our meeting place where we have our town meetings will be on this side, and actually on this wing right here on the left side of me. In the center court is basically our customer service area where the public can come in and take care of all their public service buildings needs. And then on this wing over here is where all the staff is. Two-story building, and everybody's got an office, which is great. And we're actually going to have conference rooms, because right now we've actually, in the old place, we've actually divided up conference rooms to make more offices, so we have nowhere to meet.
What's the projected closing date for this completion date?
The completion date is probably late first quarter of next year.
Okay, cool. So this is the corner right here of Kensington Road and Waxhaw Marvin Road, and I want to turn around. I want to show this part of the property as well. So over here in this area that we're looking at right now, what's going to go in over there?
All right, this is also just green space right now. The driveway is about where that dumpster is over there.
Okay.
That'll come in and it'll take care of both portions of the property. On the other side, just beyond that trailer a little bit, is a site that we reserved for either parking and or a future additional community building. But that's a long ways off, and it'll be based on need. Back over there, if you can look over the trucks,
yep,
and see the yellow equipment, the equipment out there, that is where Parks and Rec and Public Services are going to share a building over there. And their biggest thing is being able to contain and store all their equipment safely. So we have quite the campus here. That's why we call it the Town Campus. It's a great site. It was the old site of the county. It was a water pump station.
Okay.
And so we kept that building intact, and we'll use that for additional storage and some public venues, but we kept that on the site instead of tearing it down. This, as we turn here to the middle of the building, it's an L-shaped building. This is the center court. So this is the motor court area right here where the green piece of equipment is. You'll come inside these front doors, big tall glass, and you'll be able to again get to the receptionist, and then they'll redirect wherever you need to go. So it's a great building. Maybe we can walk inside. I'm going to keep way away from all the construction activity, and we'll see what it looks like.
Awesome, let's go. Now you mentioned Parks and Rec, and we said a few minutes ago too that the new park is coming along.
We do have a new downtown park. We didn't get to talk about that for the moment there, but we've got a new a 10-acre site that was actually acquired by the town in 2012, I believe. It was another thing that just wasn't able to execute. We redirected. One of the first priorities we had when I took office is to get us a park in the city, and we'd like to do more of that. We're very low on park space here. So we refocused our efforts on that to make sure that we could provide our public what they say they wanted. And we are executing on that. That will be finished in October of this year. We're really excited to get that going. If you haven't been down there, don't go on the site, but you can stand out in the street and you can see how we're building it.
So a lot of the events that have been held in the central part of the downtown area will be moved there as well. Is that correct? Or?
Only some of them. We're still going to retain that portion of our real estate. We own that corner lot,
yeah,
and the parking lot behind the Nivens building. But we think we're going to hold on to those for a while to decide, because they are an integral part of our downtown activity. But you know, there's a lot of traffic down there, and we're trying to mitigate that by getting traffic around us. I'm not comfortable all the time with having crowds like that in the traffic lanes. We have to really, you know, we don't own the streets. Every time we do something, we have to coordinate with DOT, get permits from them. Sometimes they take 3-4 months to get. So it's an effort. It's not just easy like setting up a tent and going out there.
Right.
So we'd like a lot of culture in the park down there. The park downtown will have an amphitheater down in the back end of it, has a pump track in it, has a big gazebo area where you can picnic underneath it. You got walking trails, hiking trails, water features in there. It's going to be a great addition to our town, and it's only the beginning.
So the pump track, that's looks like a BMX bike track?
Yes, that's right. BMX, skateboards, things like that. It is a hard surface track, so it is concrete. Has a few bars on it. Over time, we'd like to improve that whole corridor, so where Barnes Park is right now. We'd like to improve that corridor all the way down through the 10-acre park. We retained the ownership of the property that used to be public services, which is basically an old dilapidated garage, but it now will serve as the maintenance center for the park. So it was just a great find.
Very cool.
All right, I'm going to pay attention and watch where I'm walking here.
Yeah.
So,
imagine we're coming in the front. Yeah, we don't want you falling in a hole here.
All right, so always look up. So look around where you're going and we'll walk inside. So this is my first look too.
The first time inside the building. So over here on the right-hand side, you said this will be offices over here?
All this area where I'm standing right now will mainly be all the office corridor, so it's this entire length right here. The mayor's office will be down in that corner down there. We wanted all that at the same level as the meeting center, the dais. A lot of the offices will be upstairs for the town manager, the town engineer, the town clerk, and all the executive team. This is mainly, again, so the public can come in here and be able to reach everybody here that works in this department. So it's going to be a great spot. Looking at over there is the elevator shaft, so they'll be able to get up on that.
So this will be a two-story building?
It's a two-story building, about 10,000 feet, actually a little bit more than 10,000 feet of floor because of the dais. The upstairs doesn't go over the top of the dais. So it's going to be a great building. This wall to my south over here will be an area that we could actually add on to the building without disrupting any of this, and that was by design. If we ever needed more space, we can build that and then just punch through the wall.
So aesthetically, is it, what are we talking about? All brick?
It's all brick. It's our traditional brick that you see in all over Waxhaw. So that was the theme that we followed in designing this building. We were all very instrumental. We got the staff together, got the team together, myself as well, because I'm in the business. So we got a lot of input on what we need. I think it's going to be a really, really nice site.
Cool. Well, one last question I have for you too, as we continue to walk around. We were talking a little bit before off camera. We were talking about how you have to have a vision for a town or for a community. This is obviously part of the town's vision here. What's the town's vision going forward? This is 2023 now. For the next in 2030, 2040. In addition to improvements like this, what else do you see taking place in the town?
Well, there's a lot of parts to that question. We have a 5-year capital improvement plan that never existed in the town before us. So every year we set aside dollars to do the improvements that our constituents tell us that they want. Parks, sidewalks, all that kind of improvement. This is part of that plan. Originally, we needed to get out of our space. We were out of space where we were. As we go forward, you'll see more downtown effort on increasing that footprint down there. So we'll move that to the north a little bit. It'll come up towards where now the post office exists. So there'll be a lot of infrastructure improvements in there. We don't own all the roads, as everybody knows. There are things I think people always talk about, we'll fix a pothole on 75. Well, that's like going into your neighbor's backyard and doing something in his backyard. You don't own it. Right. And you need to get permission to do that. And that was actually, I was at a conference this morning that stated that very same thing. And people don't understand that they have to get permission from DOT to do anything on that roadway. So we have to lobby them continuously. As some people know, that I also chair the CARPO board, which is the Charlotte Regional Transportation Planning Organization. It's the largest one in the state, most powerful one in the state. I got to tell you, you'll learn a lot sitting in that seat. I'm in my second term on that.
I'm sure, yeah. And I think parking and traffic are the two things that people complain about the most in Waxhaw. People move here because they love the small town feel and they love the school systems and taxes and everything like that. But then everyone wants to move here, but then they complain about there's too much traffic and can't find a parking spot in downtown Waxhaw, which there's a lot more parking now than there used to be.
There's a lot more parking since I became mayor in office. We've added about 240 spaces to the downtown footprint, which is phenomenal. Some of that is owned, some of that is leased, that we have leasing agreements with us. As we start to develop the downtown area, we'll increase that footprint even more, or combine it with buildings that will be built. We'll combine parking in those buildings too. So we may have some partnerships with those building owners, those landowners, as they develop. We may retain some of that for some parking for us. We tease all the time. I mean, people want to move down here like I did 20 years ago. We love it down here. It's a great town. We want it to stay that way. But people have families. People bring their families here, like you and I probably did.
Yep.
So now we have to make room at the dinner table for everybody. And that's what we try to do. We really do try to build bridges and not walls. That's a big difference in what was here before, and even some people's thoughts now. You can't stop, and you won't be able to stop growth. It's how you manage it. If you do a good job managing it, you never notice that you have a problem because it doesn't exist.
All right, so this is the mayor's office right here.
This will be the location of the mayor's office here. Directly above me will be the town manager's office there. They need to have direct access to his staff. Again, it's more important for us. This area over here to my right is where all the commissioners are going to have their own private offices, so they can have conferences or meetings, private meetings with somebody. That didn't happen before. In fact, we don't have offices for this staff right now, for the mayor, and that it's pretty sad.
Well, we certainly need that, and I think this is a fitting spot to wrap up our interview here in the future mayor's office with the mayor of Waxhaw, Ron Pappas. Ron, thank you so much for spending some time with me and giving everybody a tour of this site. It's very impressive, and I look forward to seeing it when it is completed sometime early 2024.
It'll be great to be here. Thank you, Jimmy, for all that you do for us in the town.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. CLT Life, thank you so much for watching this latest episode where we got to go behind the scenes of the future Waxhaw Town Hall development, the campus as it's going to be called. And we got to interview current mayor Ron Pappas. We got to learn a little bit more about Waxhaw's vision. So thanks so much for watching this video. If you like the content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to let other people know about the CLT Life as well, where we interview local business owners, local town leaders, and influencers to keep you on the pulse of what's happening in and around the Charlotte area. Thanks so much. We'll see you on a future video.